The point of war has always been to kill the other guy and take all his stuff. Take his land, take his grain, take his gold. Kill the sons, keep the better looking women, rape them so you can breed you into them and further get rid of the bad guys. And this has gone on since we were throwing rocks and beating each other over the head with sticks and then bows and arrows, and, metal knives. This was the metal and mineral version of war armor. Then we progressed to chemical weapons when explosives were discovered, the rifle, bombs, cannons, and that went on till World War II, and usually at the end of all these eras, something horrific is invented, and it stops things for a while. So at the end of World War I, they were using mustard gas and naphtha bombs, which is natural gas compressed in with ignited, which is second only to the atomic bomb in power, actually. So that stopped that war, and those things were made illegal. It seems a funny way to fight a war, which is, oh, you can't do that, though, that's illegal. In the era of the British Empire, the armies used to stand across from each other, standing up and just shoot at each other, which seems stupid. And the Americans ended that by hiding in the trees and shooting the troops who were wearing bright red. They must have thought it was hunting season. The World War II was fought with explosive weapons and knives, metal weapons, and near the very end, the Russians started using the naphtha bombs, or the Germans started using the naphtha bombs against the Russians. And it was so horrific, the Russians said, if you don't stop doing that, we're really going to get serious and do something to you. So the Russians stopped. You can imagine that. The Russians were holed up in, I don't know, maybe Leningrad or Stalingrad, what the city named after one of their heroes, and they just refused to move. And the Germans started pounding them with this exploding gas weapon. And the Russians said, if you don't stop doing that, we're going to kill you. And they were taken seriously by the Germans. They stopped doing that. So this is the use of gases in chemistry, the final end of the chemistry era. And on the other side of the planet, the United States had developed the first molecular weapon, the atomic fission bomb, which was used twice, and history's actually been rewritten here. It is said that that's what stopped the war, but what stopped the war was that, plus the Russians started invading Japan from the north. And the emperor decided, okay, that's it. We can take the bombing, but we can't have the Americans coming in from the south and the Russians from the north. So he surrendered. There's an historical tidbit for you. So the next phase of weaponry is the biological weapon, which bypasses the need for metallic, chemical, or molecular weaponry. It's a nano device using a virus or bacterium. This has been going on for a long time. The sheep Vishnu virus and the swine flu virus has been used for 2,000 to 5,000 years. Some people used to dip their arrowheads in pig dung or sheep dung, and knowing that if they hit somebody and they didn't kill them, they would get sick, and that would take them off the field. So there's your early use of biological weapons. So although banned and outlawed everywhere, because these things can be aerosolized and just spread over a city. These things were tested in England, and they were tested in Canada. One of our mayors was paid to let them do this to a Canadian city, and or two, and we wound up with people with a strange disease. Some of our famous singers still suffering from that. So now we have a biological weapon release, and the plan is to depopulate the planet. Based on the belief that there will not be enough resources for the next few generations. So I'm going to cut to the chase on this. Now they're going after the children, which is to get rid of the next generation. And this is evil beyond evil, not to get rid of the children, actually, because they don't care about the children. What they care about is liability for anything that may have been caused by previous endeavors. And if you can get your stuff approved for children, you have protection against being sued. So they are willing to sacrifice your children and the next generations to safeguard themselves and protect their money. So how low can you go? Well, this has to be a psychopathic idea, because if you're willing to unnecessarily kill the next generation to protect your own butt, only a psychopath would do that. And it is kind of illegal to be a psychopath, because if you were in a position of authority, like in an Army or Navy or Air Force, you're not allowed to be a psychopath. It's just too much. This is basically going back to doing war in a fair way. And that's what Apocalypse Now was about. They had Colonel Kurtz was going too far, being too brutal, slaughtering people, so they had to stop him based on some whiff of remaining morality in the military. So that's what's going on. I can't say that too directly, or This video will be removed. But the news is coming out. The current oppression is slated to go on till 2025, which means all of 2023 and all of 2024 will be the same or worse than things are now. So are you ready for another 2 years of this and much worse, plus winter, plus possible World War III in Europe, a draft? No, you're not. So the only power you have in the United States is to call up the voting records of the people in the houses of representatives and see what they voted yes on. And if they voted yes on the wrong things, then vote for someone else. Get them out. Vote for the new guy, new gal. Check out what they have to say, where their donations are coming from. This is kind of a vote for your feet thing. I'm in Canada and we're already socialist. It's supposed to be a social democracy, but the real words are socialist with elections. And socialist is supposed to mean the collective and the government will take care of those on the edge, like the sick people and old people. But as per what's happened lately, not so much. It may be worse than other places. So you have very little time left. You have 24 days left before the election. The crops this year are down 40 to 60%. When that's scooped up and put in the system, there's nothing coming till next summer, after we go through winter, plant in the spring and wait for stuff to grow. So approximately 1 year from now will be the next wave of food. And there's so many problems with the price of fertilizer is driving some farmers out of business, or they won't plant. The price of feed has gone up so high, so farmers are killing their stocks, so there will be no baby cows and baby chickens for next year. So the food will plummet. And in the Bible, it says that the price of a bag of wheat will be equal to the day wages for a man. And I think that means in our society, a bag of rice will cost about $80. And rice is the fallback for everyone, rice and pasta. Pasta is made from wheat. If there's no wheat crop, there'll be no pasta. So the Buddha said to plant every square inch of open ground with vegetables, with food-growing plants. And why he said that is the real cause of every war is famine. family next door, so they come to get you and your stuff. Circling back, as Jen Psaki taught us how to do, to the beginning of this video. Things are bad, and that's dire enough, but they're coming for your children as well, and not because they hate your children. They want to save themselves from prosecution. And there's a doctor, I won't name her, she's been expunged from everywhere, was at a meeting of them talking about the plan. This is called the Great Culling, and you cull the herd, you thin the herd up. And she was there to advise them medically, and she said, isn't this kind of illegal? And they didn't say yes, but the chairman said, by the time they, meaning us, figure it out, we'll be long gone. So beware, my pretties, as the witch in the Wizard of Oz said. We're going to get your children and your little dog too.